know, an awful lot of, historically especially, and I hear it a lot these days, this idea that you have to get rid of the separateness, get rid of the separate self, dissolve the ego, which is out to get you, and all this stuff. I really want to articulate a very different approach. That doesn't feel right to me. It feels a lot of spiritual teachings strike me as anti-life. They don't even recognize they are necessarily. But if you look at them carefully, they're anti our humanity, as if it's some mistake. It's all a meaningless illusion. The separate self is not really there. It's just an obstacle in your way. I don't see it like that. For me, it feels the opposite. For me, I look at it and it feels, no. The oneness, the field of being, is becoming conscious by arising as these separate beings. That's how it can become conscious, because consciousness is the duality of subject and object. Consciousness is this, not that. Everything I'm conscious of, I'm separating from everything else. So through consciousness and through separateness, the one is actually conscious of itself. So rather than it being something which is in the way, it feels like, no, this isn't some big mistake. This is the vehicle through which we can become conscious at all. Now the problem is, we get sucked into just the separateness, into just the story, into the knowing, and we miss the mystery. But because we're now conscious, there's the chance, if we pay it attention, that we can also be conscious of the mystery. But not instead, but as well. So that the separate self, the ego, the dance of life, the dream of life, whatever you call it, that's not an obstacle. It's actually it's the foundation from which we arise. And therefore it's something to be celebrated. And for me, rather than it all dissolving and becoming meaningless, it suddenly becomes full of meaning and delight too, to meet another being who's both separate and not separate from me, to feel the love, to just sense breathing, and anything becomes something to appreciate, not something to dismiss. And I really hope, I mean, my book and my whole work really, this is what it's all about for me, is that we can move to a new form of spirituality which sees the paradox that it is not separate, but it is also not just one. It's deeper than that. It is one and many at the same moment. That's the paradox. If you look at it one way, it's all one. If you look at it another way, it's all separate. And they're both real, and they're both valuable and to be celebrated. And we don't have to choose this or that. We have to understand the paradox that it's both and, not either or. Once we do that, then I think we'll have a form of spirituality which people generally will be ready to hear. Because the reason that this is still a cult thing, it's a small thing, it's existing in a little ghetto in society, is because so many very intelligent, kind people look at it, hear what it's saying, and go, that's a bit nuts. And the reason is, it is a bit nuts. It's got lost. And what we need to do, and what all of this work we're doing is about, for me, is let's create a form of spirituality which can embrace life as well as help you transcend it to the oneness, which can actually help you bring the love into life, so that we can make the evolutionary journey together. We can really engage with the adventure. Let's make a form of spirituality which can engage like that with science, with this great body of knowledge, which doesn't dismiss that, which goes, no, hang on, these are what I would call paralogically complementary. These are opposite ways of seeing the same thing, which sit together, because at a deep level, the opposites sit together.